Hello and welcome. Now I'd like to talk about the Seiko Arnie reissue. So the Seiko Arnie is a very interesting watch because the original version of this watch was worn by Arnold Schwarzenegger in some movies, and this is the re-release of the watch, a nice solar powered, and this is not just the Arnie, this is the Terminator Arnie. Now, why is it Terminator? Because it's full metal. Originally, the Arnie comes with a plastic shroud, a black plastic shroud, and it's nice, it looks okay, it looks good, but this metal shroud from Watchnian is just so much better. And also it comes with a black rubber strap, which is very nice and comfortable, but way too long for my wrist. So yeah, it's a big watch by the way, so it's really meant for big wrists, maybe, but yeah, I can pull it off. So this is the bracelet is the Strapcode Hexad bracelet with this big clasp here. So it's a very nice bracelet and it fits the Arnie very, very well. Yeah, so there are a few things I really like about this watch and there are a few things I don't like about it. First of all, I like that it's kind of a special watch because it's an analog digital certified dive watch. There are of course a lot of analog digital watches from Casio, but as far as dive watches go, there are many analog digital watches. So that's what I like about it. It's kind of special, it looks rugged, it looks tough. With this crown here and the two pushers here, these are big crown, big pushers. And yeah, it's just cool, it's really cool. I also like the functionality of the watch. I'm not gonna go through all the features, but let's just quickly have a look at it. What can it do? So you have a backlight, you have the date, second time zone, stopwatch, alarm, and the current time on the digital display. And yeah, I like that it has an alarm. I don't really use the stopwatch. I almost never need a stopwatch on any watch. But the alarm is a nice function. I really wish it had a timer, a countdown timer, because I really use countdown timers. Of course, you can use the timing bezel, which has a pretty nice action, by the way. Of course you can use it as kind of a timer, but I like a timer which alerts you when the time is up. And of course this one can beep when the alarm goes off, so it would be nice to have a timer, and when the timer is up it could beep. Yeah, I use timers to to time pizza or time whatever. It's a nice thing. So I like that it has a analog watch face with a very nice lume. Of course, because it's a diver, it's a Seiko diver, the lume is nice. And I like that the digital display has all these extra functionality, and it just looks awesome. It's just an awesome looking watch. Very cool. Yeah, but what I don't like about it, actually it has to do with the watch being analog digital. Because there is both a analog display and a digital display on the watch face. So there are some compromises here. So the second hand, or the minute hand is quite short, because of course it shouldn't cover the digital display, so it's very short and it's very far away from the chapter ring and from the bezel. And this is a problem because it's actually pretty hard to tell the exact minute just at a glance. Just to compare, this is the solar tuner. You see the minute hand is just so close to the chapter ring and to the bezel. It almost touches the chapter ring, and it's very easy to tell which minute is it. But on the Arnie, especially when the minute hand is up here, it's really hard to tell just by looking at the analog watch face. Yeah, so, and it also affects the timing bezel, because if you want to know how many minutes have passed, like in this case, how many minutes is it? Oh, yeah, it's easy to tell when it's at a hour marker, when the minute hand is at a hour marker, okay, but in between the hour markers it's not easy because the minute hand is just so far away from the chapter ring and from the bezel. And also when you have a timing bezel and you also have a stopwatch, it's like, why do you even need a timing bezel when you have a stopwatch? Because the stopwatch is gonna be always more accurate than a timing bezel. And the other thing that is a compromise here is, you know, on the stopwatch screen there's no backlight, because the start stopwatch with the backlight button, so there's no backlight here. So you cannot use a stopwatch in darkness. Of course you can use the timing bezel in darkness. Okay, so yeah, the minute hand is short. That's something I don't like. And also because the analog watch face is like smaller than it could be, the hands are shorter, smaller, all the hour markers are smaller, and the loom, although it's Seiko loom, it's better than, for example, Casio or whatever, but it's not as good as the loom on the solar tuner, or it's not as good as it is on the SKX. Let's look at the 007. So you see also the minute hand on the SKX is also much closer to the chapter ring and the bezel. So if you just use the analog watch face to tell the time, the Arnie is problematic. Of course you have the digital display there, which can show you the current time, but again, this is also not very big. I don't have trouble reading the digital display, but okay, the point is, you see the analog part of the watch is compromised because it's not as big as it could be. The hands are small, far away from the chapter ring. The hour markers are smaller, and it affects the loom because there's just less amount of loom. And let's compare it to a digital watch. You see the digital display is of course much smaller than it is on a normal digital watch. So the point is that although it's an analog digital watch, it's not the best of both worlds. It's a compromise of both worlds. So the Arnie is not the best digital watch, it's not the best analog watch. It's a compromise. And you know, the result is a nice watch which has analog and digital functionality, but those are compromised. So that's what I don't like about the Arnie. But you know, this is the price of having an analog digital watch where like the analog part and the digital part are completely separated. So the hands are shorter. There's the flat tire. This is the flat tire analog watch face, because up here, you know, up at 12 o'clock it's flat. Yeah, but It's nice that it's quartz, it's solar, and the cool thing is that you set the time on the digital display, and whatever time you set on the digital display, the analog display will be automatically set to the time you set on the digital display. So yeah, it's a pretty nice watch. Very, very tough looking, especially with these upgrades. Okay, let's just compare it again. The other thing is, yeah, you don't have on the, of course, on the SKX and on the Solar Tuna, you have the date window, so you always see the date. On the Arnie, you can see the date. Oh, it was just there. But then you don't see the exact time on the digital display, and that's where it's also problematic. If you want to always see the date and the time, I mean, you see the time on the analog display, but it's because the minute hand is so far away from the chaptering and everything, it's not as easy to read. Yeah. So I always leave it like this. And then again, when I actually use this watch, I always look at the digital display instead of the analog display. So I really only mind the analog display when the lume is needed, you know, in darkness or low light situations, where I don't even have to know the time down to the minute. Just, you know, I just look at the watch and just I get an idea of what the time is. Of course, you can use the backlight, but not when you're using the stopwatch. I mean, when it is displaying the stopwatch. Yeah, but yeah, it's a nice watch. It's a very, very cool watch. It's solar, it's quartz, so it's accurate. You can just pick it up and wear it. You don't have to set the time, set the date, just because you didn't wear the watch and it stopped. That's what I like about quartz, really. But that's a topic for another video. Okay, that was it for this video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.